Hey guys, it's Bailey and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick review of two brand new foundations from Makeup Forever, one of which is actually a formula update on an old cult classic. It is the HD Invisible Cover Foundation. Now it is the Ultra HD Invisible Cover Foundation. And the other one is actually totally new, and it is the stick equivalent spin-off. So it is the Ultra HD, ooh, there it goes, and it is called the Invisible Cover Stick Foundation. So I'm going to be talking about, because they're so closely related, I didn't want to divide it up into two videos. Going to be talking about both in this video today. They sent me these guys to try out, and actually I had already purchased the stick foundation, which you might know if you follow me on Periscope. I did a quick little Sephora haul. They sent me one, but I had already bought this, so I went ahead and returned that, which is good because this turned out to be the right shade for me anyway. But I really wanted to give them a try because especially the liquid has such a cult following from its original formula. I really wanted to share my thoughts. Because you know I like to keep these things sort of short and concise, I will have timestamps down below, so I'll be talking about the liquid first, and then if you want to skip ahead right to the stick because that's really what you're interested in, I will put a timestamp down below for that. But if you're sticking around for the entire video, let's start off with the liquid. This guy retails for 43 bucks. I did get the original when it was out, way when I first started blogging, so I can't remember what it retailed for back then. I can't imagine it was much below or above that for that matter. 43 seems very on par with Makeup Forever, and it is also what the stick retails for. For reference, I am in the shade 120 in both of them, and if you are switching over from former HD to current HD, they do have sort of a conversion on not only the product itself, but on the box and in store. So they make it really easy to find what you are in the new system if you are a current lover of the old system. So that's nice. But like I said, 43 bucks for 1.01 ounces, very comparable to the rest of Makeup Forever's foundations. For an example, the one that I have used most recently is the Matte Velvet Plus. Absolutely love this foundation. It retails for 38, so slightly under that 43 mark for the same amount of product, but it's still within the mid to high end range. So now to talk about the updated formula. This was supposedly reformulated to cope with new ultra high definition 4K technology. I do not have a 4K resolution on this video, so don't expect anything totally new and different, but basically resolution's getting higher, and so it's more easy to find fine brush strokes, and it's easier just to see and notice when someone is wearing makeup. So supposedly this is supposed to look even more like second skin, even when it's under the scrutiny of ultra high resolution. Beyond that, it's supposed to be buildable to pretty full coverage and yet still look very natural, not seeking into fine lines, and be very long wearing. And like I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't mention this earlier, but this was definitely the original version of this, was a YouTube made me buy it sort of foundation. I got it very early on when I first started vlogging, and so I definitely fell into the crowd of people buying it because there was so much hype around it. And I have to say that I do love the way it looked and felt on my skin immediately after application, but it developed some serious dewiness throughout the day, and at the time I didn't have a whole lot of experience with other foundations, especially high-end foundations under my belt, to know how it could get better or worse for that matter. And so ultimately I did not finish a bottle, and I definitely didn't repurchase a bottle because I found that there were other foundations that dealt with my combination skin and developing that excess shine throughout the day better than this did. So that was my main gripe. I was kind of hoping that this formula would address that. It does have hyaluronic acid in it, which is supposed to be a great moisturizer for combination to oily skin. It helps bind water, so this helps keep your skin hydrated all day. It shouldn't really be a problem with combo or oily skin for that matter, but I noticed the same kind of thing where I would apply it at the beginning of the day, and I'm actually wearing this one now just because, spoiler alert, I like the stick more than this, so I wanted to wear this in video so you could actually see how it performs in front of a camera, because I've been wearing the stick in like the past few videos because I've been loving it so much. So currently wearing this so you can get a feel for how it actually looks and performs on camera. I love the way it goes right after applied. I've probably been wearing this for about an hour at this point because I filmed a little look of this prior to this, so it hasn't had a lot of time to build up excess shine, but you'll see like worn throughout a workday, it definitely didn't hold up quite as well as the stick foundation. Now the shine wasn't as bad as I've experienced with other foundations, but comparatively speaking, if I'm going to pick one for a combo of oily skin type over the other, it's gonna be the stick. Onto the stick foundation, it too retails for $43, but as you can see, because I have preferred this over the liquid, I've kind of blown through it pretty fast. And just to roll it all the way up here, probably the biggest concern and maybe the biggest downside because of that is the amount of product you get. It's kind of hard to compare liquid to solid, especially because they apply so differently. I feel like I apply more product with the liquid, with the solid, than I do with the liquid. So I do feel like I'm gonna blow through this a little faster than I would with the liquid foundation, but I think you'll be able to see from before and afters why I prefer it to the liquid. So basically, this goes on like any other stick foundation. It does feel a little bit heavier than liquid when it's first applied, but it blends out super smoothly and evenly, not like your mom's stick foundation. Like I feel like old school stick foundations felt more like grease paints where they're applied super heavily, they were very hard to blend out. And recently, like the past few years, more and more stick foundations have been coming out that just really blow me out of the water, and I tend to prefer them just for ease of application, and they're much easier to travel with than a liquid. You don't have to put them in a special bag, you don't have to worry about them exploding, leaking, whatever. I just tend to prefer sticks. So if I can find one that goes on and blends really easily and then lasts throughout the day, I am all about it. So like I said, this applies really nicely, evenly. It still has the same hyaluronic acid as the liquid formula, so those who have dry to very dry skin types are still gonna get that hydration, but for some reason, this just didn't develop the same kind of shine that the liquid version of the HD did for me. So really, because the formula of the stick is supposedly identical to the liquid, the reviews are gonna be very much the same. I just tend to prefer the stick, one, for the format, and two, and probably most importantly, for the actual wear time, the way it wore and lasted on my combination skin. I would definitely recommend the stick to those with combo to oily skin, but like I said, it also contains hyaluronic acid, so dry to very dry skin shouldn't shy away from it either. But if you love a more traditional liquid foundation, this is still great. It still gives you the same great, very natural second skin looking coverage. I just personally experienced a little bit more excess shine and dewiness throughout the day with the liquid over the stick. So those are my thoughts on each of those. If I left any details out, anything you want to know more about, be sure and ask me in the comments below. But besides that, if you don't, thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you found this video helpful. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Bye.